Aria Martinez, a 25-year-old dental hygienist at Chicago Dental Group, had established herself as one of the practice's most valued employees by June 2015. Employee records showed 3 consecutive Excellence in Patient Care awards, with her supervisor noting a 47% increase in patient retention among her regular clients. The daughter of Filipino immigrants, Aria had worked her way through dental school, graduating with honors from University of Illinois Chicago's dental hygiene program in 2012. Her colleagues would later tell investigators that patients specifically requested her gentle touch and calming presence. Her engagement to James Cooper, 28, seemed to complete her journey from scholarship student to successful professional. Security footage from Chicago Dental Group would later reveal how their paths first crossed when James's construction company, Cooper Building Solutions, was contracted to renovate the practice's West Wing in early 2015. Financial records documented Cooper Building Solutions' impressive growth, with contracts totaling $2.3 million in the previous year. James's carefully cultivated image as a self-made success story earned him features in local business magazines and a seat on the Young Entrepreneurs Council. What these public accolades concealed, investigators would discover, was a pattern of controlling behavior in James's previous relationships. 3 former girlfriends would later provide statements describing emotional manipulation and financial coercion, though none had filed formal complaints. Bank records revealed a complex web of personal and business accounts, with substantial transfers suggesting a pattern of using romantic relationships to secure business advantages. Dr. Lucas Kane, 33, presented himself as the perfect example of professional success. As senior partner at Chicago Dental Group and husband to Rebecca Kane, heir to the Kane medical equipment fortune, he appeared to have everything. Security footage would later show him spending increasingly long hours at the office, particularly during Aria's evening shifts. His marriage to Rebecca, investigators discovered, was arranged by their families to merge the Kane medical empire, with a prenuptial agreement specifying harsh financial penalties for infidelity. Electronic records gathered during the investigation painted a detailed picture of the initial evidence trail. Security cameras captured 37 instances of Drive Kane and Aria remaining in the office past normal business hours between March and June 2015. Financial records showed a pattern of expenses: dinner receipts from intimate restaurants, hotel charges at the Drake Hotel, and jewelry purchases from Tiffany & Company, all carefully concealed through business expense accounts. The timeline of their relationship emerged through meticulous investigation of digital communications. Their first private meeting occurred on March 12, 2015, when office security logs showed them accessing the building at 9:47 p.m., allegedly to review patient files. Subsequent encounters followed a careful pattern: Tuesday and Thursday evenings, when Rebecca Kane attended hospital board meetings. Email exchanges, later recovered by forensic experts, revealed increasingly passionate communications hidden behind seemingly professional subject lines. Staff members had noticed subtle changes. Linda Morrison, the lead dental assistant, provided investigators with detailed observations of altered behavior patterns. Dr. Kane started taking a personal interest in scheduling, especially evening appointments, she stated in her initial interview. He'd never done that before. Building maintenance logs documented unusual access patterns, with Dr. Kane's keycard being used to access the private staff areas during off hours 23 times in April alone. The situation grew more complex when James Cooper began showing signs of suspicion. Security footage from May 2015 showed him making unscheduled visits to the practice, ostensibly to check on the renovation progress. HR records included a complaint from the office manager about his increasingly aggressive questioning of staff regarding Aria's schedule. Email records would later reveal that Rebecca Kane had begun her own quiet investigation, hiring a private detective whose preliminary report would eventually trigger the cascade of events leading to tragedy. Initial concerns were documented in various forms. Staff meeting minutes noted discussions about professional boundaries and after-hours security protocols. The practice's IT logs showed multiple attempts to access Aria's email account from unknown IP addresses. Building security had logged 3 verbal altercations in the parking lot, though no formal reports were filed. These seemingly unrelated incidents would later be recognized as critical warning signs when investigators began piecing together the events that led to the Pine Valley Country Club massacre. On June 15, 2015, at approximately 9:17 a.m., James Cooper received an anonymous email containing 6 video attachments. Security footage from Cooper Building Solutions showed him viewing the content in his office, his reaction causing $47,000 worth of damage to the premises. The videos, investigators would later confirm, had been captured by Chicago Dental Group's security system, showing intimate encounters between Aria Martinez and Dr. Lucas Kane spanning 3 months. Computer forensics would reveal the email originated from a public library terminal. Those security cameras would later identify Rebecca Kane entering the facility at 8:45 a.m. that morning. The videos spread through the office network within hours. IT logs documented 47 downloads before the system administrator could remove them. James's reaction was immediate and violent. Security cameras captured him throwing his desk computer through a plate glass window, leading to the evacuation of the entire floor. 3 employees called 911, with the first call logged at 9:23 a.m. According to witness statements, James was heard screaming about betrayal and revenge. Physical evidence from the office destruction proved crucial to establishing James's state of mind. Crime scene photographs documented systematic damage, shattered monitors, destroyed furniture, and walls punched through with what appeared to be a metal paper tray. Forensics teams noted that despite the apparent rage, certain items were carefully preserved, particularly his laptop and phone, suggesting a level of control even in crisis. The investigation expanded rapidly as evidence mounted. Surveillance footage from Chicago Dental Group revealed Dr. Kane learning of the exposure when a staff member's scream drew him from a patient consultation at 10:42 a.m. His attempt to contact Aria was captured on multiple cameras as he rushed through the office. Phone records showed 17 missed calls to her number within 20 minutes. Rebecca Kane's involvement became clear through witness accounts. Sandra Thompson, the dental office's receptionist, provided a detailed statement about Rebecca's arrival at 11:15 a.m. She walked in calm as could be, went straight to Lucas's office, and locked the door, Thompson testified. The shouting was muffled, but we all heard something about prenuptial agreement and destruction of evidence. Multiple witnesses from neighboring businesses provided statements about the events that followed. Richard Martinez, owner of the adjacent accounting firm, described seeing James Cooper pacing in the parking lot at 12:30 p.m., having what appeared to be an intense phone conversation. He kept saying, "I'll make them pay and everyone will see," Martinez reported to investigators. The police response began with Officer Sarah Chen arriving at 9:28 a.m. to address the initial destruction of property. Her body camera footage captured the chaotic scene at Cooper Building Solutions, including James's first official statement claiming temporary insanity. Detective Michael Rodriguez, assigned to the case at 2:15 p.m., immediately recognized patterns suggesting premeditation rather than spontaneous reaction. As investigators gathered evidence, a clearer picture emerged of the events leading to the video leak. Security logs showed Rebecca Kane accessing the dental office's IT system through her hospital board credentials 3 weeks earlier. Financial records revealed her withdrawal of $50,000 from a private account the day before the leak, with subsequent payments to a cybersecurity firm specializing in surveillance. The pattern of evidence collection accelerated through the afternoon. IT forensics teams recovered deleted emails showing James had suspected the affair for weeks, conducting his own surveillance. His internet search history revealed inquiries about wedding venue security systems, ammunition types, and methods for bypassing metal detectors. These digital breadcrumbs would later prove crucial in establishing the premeditated nature of his eventual actions. By evening, Detective Rodriguez had assembled a preliminary case file documenting a complex web of revenge motives. Rebecca Kane's calculated exposure of the affair appeared designed to trigger maximum professional damage while preserving her prenuptial protections. James Cooper's controlled rage suggested careful planning beneath apparent chaos. Dr. Kane's attempts to contain the situation through financial offers and legal threats were documented in hasty emails sent throughout the day. The investigation's scope expanded when an anonymous tip led police to review previous incidents at Chicago Dental Group. Security logs revealed a pattern of late-night entries, deleted appointment records, and modified security footage dating back months. Each piece of evidence added to a mounting picture of calculated deception and premeditated revenge that would ultimately culminate in the tragic events at Pine Valley Country Club. In the weeks following the video revelation, James Cooper's activities suggested careful preparation rather than emotional turmoil. Security footage from Pine Valley Country Club documented 3 separate visits between June 18 to 25, 2015, with particular attention paid to the venue's audiovisual systems. Maintenance records showed James insisting on personally handling technical arrangements, refusing the venue's standard AV package. Purchase orders revealed his acquisition of specialized video equipment, including high-resolution projectors and an advanced sound system, totaling $12,750. Financial records obtained by investigators showed James making strategic purchases: a Milwaukee Electronics laptop paid for in cash, sophisticated surveillance equipment from 3 different vendors, and most significantly, a Glock 19 handgun purchased from Lakeside Firearms on June 22. The weapon purchase included 3 boxes of ammunition and a concealed carry holster. Security footage from the gun store showed James appearing calm and methodical, spending 47 minutes discussing various options with the sales staff. The wedding planner, Michelle Torres, provided crucial testimony about James's unusual level of involvement in technical details. "Most grooms barely care about the color scheme," she stated in her police interview, but James had blueprints of the venue and kept asking about camera placements and security patrol schedules. Her files contained detailed notes about his specific requirements for the reception layout, particularly regarding screen positioning and guest seating arrangements. Witness accounts from venue staff revealed mounting concerns. Sarah Jenkins, Pine Valley's head of security, documented James's persistent questions about staff schedules and access points. "He wanted to know every detail about our surveillance system," she reported. "Even asked about blind spots in our camera coverage." The venue's IT manager noted 3 attempted unauthorized access to their security network from an IP address later traced to James's office. Linda Chen, Aria's maid of honor, reported increasingly worried conversations with the bride. Text messages recovered from Chen's phone showed Aria expressing concern about James's obsessive behavior regarding wedding preparations. "He's different since the video thing," one message read. "Always checking his phone, making secret calls. Yesterday he spent 3 hours at the venue, checking the sound system." The paper trail grew more concerning as the wedding date approached. Credit card statements showed James purchasing burner phones from different locations across Chicago. Hotel reservations were made and cancelled at various venues along possible escape routes. A storage unit was rented under his cousin's name, containing what investigators would later discover was a go bag with cash, clothes, and false identification. Financial tracking revealed a pattern of asset liquidation. James transferred $157,000 from his business accounts to a newly created personal account at Northern Trust. He sold his investment portfolio, generating another $83,000 in cash. These transactions were carefully structured to avoid immediate suspicion, spread across multiple banks and kept just under reporting thresholds. Rebecca Kane's movements during this period added another layer of complexity. Surveillance footage showed her conducting her own reconnaissance of the venue. Cell phone records placed her near Pine Valley Country Club on multiple occasions, including late-night drive-bys. Her financial records showed a weapon purchase from a different gun store, along with payments to a private security firm. Dr. Kane's attempts to prevent the wedding created additional documentation. Emails recovered from the dental office server showed increasingly desperate messages to Aria. His financial records revealed attempts to access emergency funds, blocked by Rebecca's legal team. Phone logs showed multiple calls to Aria's family members, attempting to convince them to stop the wedding. The venue's security logs painted a picture of escalating activity as the wedding date approached. James made 6 visits in the final week, each time spending hours examining the reception hall setup. Staff reported him testing sight lines from different angles, measuring distances between tables, and photographing emergency exits. His later internet search history would reveal research into crowd behavior patterns and maximum capacity regulations. Investigation into the wedding preparation period uncovered multiple red flags that went unreported. The florist noticed James's unusual interest in delivery schedules. The caterer's staff reported him asking detailed questions about server rotations. The wedding photographer's contract was modified 3 times to specify exact camera positions and timing. Each detail, viewed in isolation, seemed merely peculiar. Together, they formed a pattern that investigators would later identify as critical evidence of premeditation. On August 15, 2015, security cameras at Pine Valley Country Club captured James Cooper arriving at 7:42 a.m., 3 hours before standard venue access time. For 4 to 5 minutes, he methodically checked audiovisual equipment in the reception hall, testing volume levels and screen projections. Head custodian Robert Martinez later testified about finding James's behavior unusual enough to note in his morning log. He seemed to be rehearsing something, muttering timestamps and checking his watch every few minutes. Security footage showed James making 3 separate trips to his car, each time returning with additional electronic equipment that wasn't part of the venue's standard setup. The bridal party's arrival at 10:30 a.m. initiated what appeared to be normal wedding preparations. Aria Martinez's makeup artist, Jenny Chen, would later provide investigators with crucial observations from the bridal suite. Aria kept checking her phone, especially after it buzzed at around 11:15. She got really pale but tried to hide it. At 11:23 a.m., security personnel documented Dr. Kane's attempted breach of bridal suite protocol, with Officer Mark Thompson's incident report noting that Kane appeared, agitated and insisted on 5 minutes alone with the bride. 3 bridesmaids reported hearing Kane mention something about stopping this before it's too late. Wedding coordinator Michelle Torres's meticulous records detailed the afternoon's progression with timestamps that would prove vital to the investigation. Guests began arriving at 2:15 p.m., with James Cooper entering the groom's suite at 2:45 p.m. Security footage showed him spending exactly 17 minutes in the venue's security office, claiming he needed to check Wi-Fi connectivity. IT logs would later reveal unauthorized access to the venue's camera systems during this time frame. Rebecca Kane's unexpected arrival at 3:17 p.m. created visible tension, her presence specifically excluded from the guest list. Parking lot cameras captured her placing what appeared to be a small object under her evening jacket. The ceremony began at 3:30 p.m. under increasingly strained circumstances. Videographer Tim Chen's raw footage captured multiple angles of the proceedings, including James's subtle but constant glances toward the reception hall's AV booth. 3 separate guests later mentioned hearing James's voice crack during his vows, particularly when promising honesty and faithfulness. Dr. Kane's presence at the back of the ceremony space, documented by security cameras at 3:47 p.m., caused visible distress among several wedding party members who recognized him. Between the ceremony and reception, surveillance footage showed James making 4 separate trips to the AV control room. Each visit lasted exactly 3 minutes, with James checking his phone after each exit. Reception hall staff noted him declining their offers to assist with technical setup, insisting on handling all equipment personally. At 7:30 p.m., he spent 12 minutes typing on his laptop, connected to the venue's main display system. The carefully orchestrated tragedy began to unfold at precisely 8:42 p.m. Security cameras and numerous guest recordings documented the sequence in detail. As the wedding video montage played, the screens suddenly shifted to surveillance footage from the dental office, showing intimate encounters between Aria and Dr. Kane. Guest Michael Rodriguez's phone recording captured Aria's immediate reaction, a sharp intake of breath followed by the words, "How did you?" before chaos erupted. James's movement toward the head table was described by witnesses as eerily calm. The situation escalated at 8:47 p.m. when Aria, confronted by both James and Rebecca Kane's drawn weapons, revealed her pregnancy. Security footage showed James's response. 3 shots fired in rapid succession, hitting Aria in the chest. Dr. Kane's attempt to reach her was cut short by 2 shots from Rebecca's weapon. In the ensuing chaos, James turned the gun on himself, the final shot recorded at 8:49 p.m. Emergency response was swift but ultimately futile for the primary victims. Dispatch logs documented the first 911 call at 8:48 p.m. from wedding planner Michelle Torres, who provided critical details about multiple shooters. Initial police units arrived at 8:51 p.m., led by Sergeant David Martinez, whose body camera footage showed the systematic securing of the scene. EMS teams began triage at 8:53 p.m., while tactical units established a perimeter by 8:56 p.m. First responders encountered a scene that spoke to meticulous planning rather than spontaneous violence. James's laptop, still connected to the venue's AV system, contained folders labeled by timestamp, each containing carefully edited video segments. The venue's security team, led by Tom Watson, implemented immediate lockdown procedures, containing 214 witnesses while evidence collection began. Detective Sarah Rodriguez arrived at 9:05 p.m., immediately recognizing signs of premeditation in the scene's organization. By 10:30 p.m., the full scope of the tragedy had been documented. 3 deceased, Aria Martinez, Dr. Lucas Kane, and James Cooper. 1 injured, Rebecca Kane, from apparent self-inflicted wound. The venue's 24 security cameras had captured the entire sequence from multiple angles. Cell phones from 47 guests were collected as evidence, many containing video recordings of the critical moments. Blood pattern analysis would later confirm the exact positions of all parties, supporting witness accounts of the calculated nature of the violence. The Pine Valley Wedding Massacre, as it would come to be known, marked a tragic evolution in domestic violence cases, prompting significant changes in wedding venue security protocols across the state. In the immediate aftermath of the Pine Valley Wedding Massacre, Detective Sarah Rodriguez led a comprehensive crime scene investigation that would continue for 72 hours. Forensics teams recovered 3 weapons: James Cooper's Glock 19, which had fired 4 rounds including the fatal shots at Aria Martinez and his suicide, Rebecca Kane's Smith & Wesson .38 Special used to shoot Dr. Kane, and a third and fired weapon found in Dr. Kane's vehicle. Ballistics analysis confirmed the bullet trajectories aligned perfectly with security camera footage, suggesting practiced marksmanship rather than emotional shooting. Digital forensics proved particularly revealing. James's laptop contained meticulously organized folders dating back 3 months, categorizing surveillance footage, financial records, and private investigator reports. The wedding video presentation had been carefully edited, with timestamps showing he spent 4 to 7 hours perfecting the sequence of revelations. Additional files revealed elaborate escape plans that were never implemented, including detailed routes and prepared identities. Medical examiner Dr. Michael Chang's report provided crucial details about the victims. Aria Martinez was confirmed to be 6 weeks pregnant at time of death, the paternity later confirmed as Dr. Kane's through DNA analysis. The trajectory of the bullets indicated James had practiced his shooting stance, hitting vital organs with precision despite the chaotic environment. Dr. Kane's wounds showed powder burns suggesting close-range fire, while Rebecca Kane's self-inflicted wound appeared to be an unplanned response to her husband's death. The district attorney's office built their case against Rebecca Kane methodically over the following months. Lead prosecutor Jennifer Martinez focused on establishing a pattern of premeditation, presenting evidence of Rebecca's careful orchestration of the video exposure and her presence at the wedding against explicit instructions. Email records revealed her systematic destruction of both her husband's and Aria's reputations, including anonymous tips to their respective licensing boards weeks before the tragedy. During court proceedings, testimony from 47 wedding guests painted a vivid picture of the calculated nature of the violence. Security officer Tom Watson's detailed account of James's technical preparations proved particularly damaging to Rebecca's defense claims of acting spontaneously. The venue's IT logs demonstrated how James had spent weeks studying the security system, creating blind spots that would prove crucial to the tragedy's unfolding. The trial of Rebecca Kane concluded in April 2016. Despite her legal team's attempts to portray her actions as crimes of passion, the jury took only 6 hours to return guilty verdicts on 2 counts of second-degree murder and 1 count of conspiracy. Judge Sarah Chen imposed the maximum sentence, 50 years without possibility of parole. Rebecca's subsequent appeals, based on claims of temporary insanity, were rejected by higher courts. The Pine Valley tragedy prompted immediate policy changes across Chicago's wedding industry. The city council passed the Martinez-Kane Act, requiring enhanced security measures at all large-scale private events. Venues installed metal detectors, implemented strict AV system protocols, and established mandatory security staff ratios. The dental industry also responded, with the American Dental Association revising workplace relationship guidelines and mandating new security protocols for after-hours access. The community's response transcended mere policy changes. Aria's colleagues at Chicago Dental Group established the Martinez Memorial Foundation, providing scholarships for dental hygiene students from underprivileged backgrounds. The foundation also created support programs for families affected by domestic violence, with a particular focus on workplace relationships. Annual remembrance ceremonies at Pine Valley Country Club drew hundreds of supporters, transforming the site of tragedy into a symbol of awareness and prevention. Detective Rodriguez's final case report, submitted in December 2016, spanned 847 pages detailing the intricate web of relationships, betrayals, and calculated actions that led to the tragedy. The report highlighted how traditional warning signs of domestic violence had been masked by professional status and social standing, leading to new training protocols for law enforcement in identifying high-functioning domestic abusers. The investigation's conclusions drew national attention to the evolution of domestic violence in the digital age. James Cooper's methodical use of technology to plan and execute his revenge, combined with Rebecca Kane's sophisticated manipulation of digital evidence, established new precedents for investigating technology-facilitated domestic crimes. Law enforcement agencies across the country began implementing specialized training programs based on the Pine Valley case study. As Pine Valley Country Club reopened its renovated reception hall in 2017, a small plaque commemorated the lives lost. The venue's transformation included state-of-the-art security systems and a permanent memorial garden where the tragedy occurred. The site became a testament to both the devastating consequences of betrayal and the community's commitment to preventing future tragedies. Today, the case serves as required study material at police academies nationwide, particularly in units dealing with domestic violence and digital crime. The intersection of personal betrayal, professional status, and calculated revenge continues to inform law enforcement approaches to similar cases. The tragedy's lasting impact extends beyond physical security measures to a deeper understanding of how technology can facilitate both domestic violence and its prevention in modern society.